June 2018, question 4a. It says the function f with domain a, 1, 2, 3 is given by f of x is equal to 1 half x minus 3. I. What is the value of f of 1? Now, all f of 1 is saying, so to find f of 1, all that is saying is that, all right, first of all, we'll start off with f of x is equal to 1 half x minus 3. Now, f of 1 is saying that in f, wherever I see x, I must take out x and put 1. So this is 1 half times 1 minus 3. So 1 half times 1 is a half, or 1 half, minus 3. And a half minus 3 is minus 2 and a half. Alright? If the signs are different, you must subtract and keep the sign of the larger number. So f of 1 is equal to minus 2 and a half. F of 1 is equal to minus 2 and a half. II says, find the value of x for which f of x is equal to minus 2. So f of x, which is equal to 1 half x minus 3, is equal to minus 2. Alright, and what we want to find is the value of x that is going to cause f of x to be minus 2. Alright, therefore I can say that 1 half x would be equal to minus 2 plus 3. Negative 3 goes over and become positive. So therefore x over 2 would be equal to 1. Alright, and all that is saying, multiplying by a half is the same as saying divide by 2. If I have one fraction is equal to one fraction, to get rid of the fraction I can cross multiply. So 1 times x is equal to 2 times 1, which is 2. So x is equal to 2 is the value of x for which f of x is equal to minus 2. So when x is equal to 2, f of x is minus 2. The third part of the question, it says, an ordered pair for the function is expressed in the form a, b. Using your answers to ai and aii or otherwise, list the ordered pairs for the function f. So f of x, which is 1 half x minus 3, 1 half x minus 3 is as a set of ordered pairs. The first one was 1 minus 2.5. F of 1 was minus 2.5. So in other words, when x is what? When x is 1, f of x is equal to minus 2.5. So that's one of the ordered pair. The next one is 2 minus 2. Remember in the previous example, the value of x for which f of x is equal to minus 2 is x is equal to 2. The third and final one is 3. Alright, but we didn't find that one, so let's find that. Alright, we can say when x is equal to 3, we're going to find f of 3, which would be equal to a half multiplied by 3 minus 3. So a half of 3 is 1.5 minus 3. So this is minus 1.5. So when x is equal to 3, f of x is minus 1.5. Alright, so there are 3 elements in the domain of f of x, and each element in the domain is mapped onto what? Is mapped onto one element. 1 is mapped to minus 2.5, 2 is mapped to minus 2, 3 is mapped to minus 1.5, and what we have here is f of x represented as a set of ordered pairs. Alright, I think this is the last part of the question. We're to explain why f of x is not equal to 5 for the function specified on page 13. Alright, so the function we're talking about is f of x is equal to 1 half x minus 3. And we're told that the domain A for this function is 1, 2, and 3. In other words, the function has defined only has what? 3 x values, or the range of domain values is from 1 to 3. All right. Any value, any domain value, or any value of x other than 1, 2, or 3 is not in the domain of what? F. All right. So we're to explain why f of x is not equal to 5. Well, what I'm going to do is find the value of x for which f of x is equal to 5. So f of x is equal to a half x minus 3 is equal to 5. Therefore, x over 2 would be equal to 5 plus 3. So x over 2 would be equal to 8. If I have one fraction is equal to one fraction, I would cross multiply. So 1 times x, 1 times x is equal to 2 times 8, which is 16. So the value of x, the value of x, the value of x for which f of x is equal to 5 is x is equal to 16. Alright, let's change it up a bit. X is equal to 5, comma, which is x is equal to 16, is not in the domain of f. Therefore, f of x cannot be equal to 5. Alright? Because the value of x that's needed to make f of x equal to 5 is not in the domain of f. So if this value is not in the domain of f, it means that f of x cannot be equal to 5.